What's up, guys? We flew one of the baddest 155ers on the planet who just had one of the biggest wins of his life. We're talking Dustin Poirier. Guess what? I'm feeding him chicken and waffles. Welcome to Food Truck Diaries. Just pictures of all famous people I've eaten here.
Rampage Jackson.
Rampage, thick in this picture. Shout out to Rampage. Can we order from you, my man? So it's chicken wings with a side of waffles?
I'll do wings with waffle. I'll get messy.
Mouth is watering, as usual. Right after you beat Max Holloway, which was a phenomenal performance. I mean,
Thanks, man.
ridiculous, man. Me and Theo, your boy Theo, shout out to
he was
Theo
cage
Bob.
side, pretty much.
He was cage side. He was a straight lot lizard. Did you see him just being
I
like,
saw him.
"You Dustin, oh my God," like shaking the belt?
On one of the replays I was watching, I could see him through the cage, and after one of the rounds, he puts his head between his legs.
I saw him yelling, going, "Rip his nuts off, rip him." I'm like, all right, you don't know fighting,
No.
Theo. You don't know what you're doing. He loves you, though, man.
That's my guy, bro.
Yeah, the two dark arts brothers connected, man.
Homeschool. We both went to homeschool, so.
Both homeschooled. And then when you walked out of the octagon, he's cage side.
He's slapping the belt. I'm like, yeah. I had to make sure I ran up to him, though.
I know,
Yeah.
man. That fight, I mean, obviously, you know, because it's for interim belt. Right when you won that fight, Khabib's next.
That's what the interim belt's supposed to be, right?
That's how it has to be.
You have to
Sometimes.
fight the champ. Well, this one, it made sense, because it's not like the guy was sidelined by an injury or something. He couldn't fight. He's suspended. He can't fight until September, I believe.
Yeah.
So they had to do something. It's such a top-heavy division with so many contenders. This fight came together. Now I'm the interim champ, and we have to fight. That's what this means.
Yeah.
What I have is a piece of the title.
I love it.
We have to unify.
Were you surprised when they told you, your fight for the interim belt, Max Holloway, his first fight at 55?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be Ferguson.
I thought it was going to be Ferguson, too.
Yeah, but the good thing is I went to South Florida at the beginning of January with no fight. I just said I'm going to stay here. Something big's coming. Because I just beat Eddie Alvarez and
Huge fight.
Anthony Pettis,
Yeah, man.
Justin Gaethje. I just beat all these champs in main events. I knew something big was coming. So I went to South Florida in January, and it was like a 13-week camp because I didn't know what I was training for at first. And they called me with that
But you knew you were
fight.
training for a Max Holloway or Tony Ferguson.
I knew the day before they announced it.
Oh, wow.
Like, that's how quick it happened.
And with Max, where you're like, oh, hell yeah. Because, and here was my thinking, when they said Max at 55, my logic was, all right, Max at 45, monster. Best 145er on the planet, might be best 145 ever. Not having to cut the weight because he's had issues cutting that weight. Going to 55, he's going to be bigger, faster, stronger. He's striking, he's long. I thought, man, this is a tough fight for Dustin.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a different fight since the first time we fought. We fought in 2011 or 2012.
Yeah. I didn't really care about that just
Me
because
either.
It was so long ago. You guys
Right.
are so different now.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, he was such a different fighter. Just came off of stopping Aldo twice. Defended his belt against Ortega, looked great. And I honestly, I don't know how much bigger I was than him on fight night. He might have been heavier than me. I don't know.
Yeah, because he's taller, right?
Yeah, he's not a small guy, man.
No, he's not small at all. I can't believe he makes 145.
Me either.
But then, me and Theo bet on, I just bet Theo because he's from there. He's your boy. I want some controversy there. Wasn't betting against you.
No, it's all good.
That was very clear.
It's all good. You're buying me waffles now.
Yeah,
so
I'm buying you
I'll
waffles
win.
and chicken.
Yeah.
Hopefully you don't get sick. But so when you were in there, it was like Max might hit you with one or two, and then one of yours, you could kind of you could just see him like, damn.
Yeah.
Like it was just a difference in kind of power, which I was surprised by, I gotta be honest.
I might have got hit flush one time that whole fight. I was rolling and slipping and taking a lot of shots really well, so nothing really stuck me and hurt me too bad, And the third round, he hit me with a good right hand that hurt a little bit, but I recovered pretty quick. And I felt the difference in power, When I got in on his legs, usually I'm pretty decent at getting guys down against the fence,
Yeah.
He felt really strong, lower body-wise. Like his hips and legs felt really, really good. When we clinched, he felt weak.
You probably didn't see this, maybe you don't pay attention to it. I felt like the narrative from the media wasn't how great Dustin looked. It was how Max looked. Right? Is that fair to say?
A little bit. What frustrated me
You
was...
felt like you didn't get the shine you should have off of it.
Dude, you know how they throw shade on anything you do.
Correct. That's
And
the world we live
I'm just not... I've been fighting a while now, and a lot of high-profile fights, so I'm not surprised when they do weird shit like that. But it was more people were saying the power difference. That's what won the fight. But I thought it was technique and timing and my
There's a
rhythm,
lot that
my
went into it.
preparation, my
Yeah.
years of fight IQ, my years of knowledge.
Agree.
Yeah, it was what won the fight.
Agree. And also, if you look back at your previous fights, I mean, you've gone through the gamut to get here.
Right.
With Eddie Alvarez.
Twice with
world
him.
champion, twice, right? In the first one, little suspect.
Yeah.
Right, probably. So you probably beat him twice. So,
I do.
Right, there you go. So twice. Then Justin Gaethje, phenomenal fight.
Pettis before that.
All
world champions. So then Max, these are 4 or 5 world champions in a row.
Max pound for pound, great.
I mean, stopped arguably one of the best twice.
So that and even going in the Max Holloway fight, you were an underdog. I think you were a slight underdog.
I usually bet on myself. I didn't in that fight.
I remember when it first came out, I thought you were a slight underdog, and then went to even. I don't know where it ended up on the cards right before it started, but I was surprised by that.
Yeah. I mean, he was a defending, reigning champ, moving up, and everybody knows he's big.
I think everyone kind of thought like him going to 55, it'd be better for him. A guy like Darren
But maybe
Till,
I just have the right game plan and style to beat him. I don't think the size mattered that much.
Agree, and that's the narrative. When you walked out of there, you got Theo screaming like a rabid fangirl. You go to the back of the locker room, and this was always my thing when I was fighting. As soon as I hit that back locker room, I was always like, oh, what's next? Like, all right, that guy was good. Yeah. Then next, and I would have an idea of maybe who'd be next. And I started thinking about that. For you, you beat Max Holloway. There's no mystery.
You know next.
Khabib, and not only is Khabib next, the world champion, but probably, pound for pound, top 2. Some say he's the best 155er of all. I mean, you got it's a problem that no one's figured out.
Right. I think 27-0. And then we're going to Muslim territory in Abu Dhabi to fight. Maybe, but we'll see. I'm just waiting on the call, man. Everybody's my management, people we speak to in the UFC, everything's leaning that way. But this is such a crazy sport,
It could happen Vegas like this.
It could be New York, could be anywhere. Could not even happen. Maybe it doesn't happen. I don't know.
That has to happen.
Yeah.
Especially you got Cowboy.
By the
Tony
book,
fighter.
When you have an interim belt, they got to unify the belts. But I don't know. Nothing surprising. Nothing surprising me in the sport of MMA.
You're definitely gonna get the fight next. Looking at it stylistically, I guess the only kind of blemish. There's 2 blemishes on Khabib's record when you look at it. The Michael Johnson fight where he gets caught early.
He gets hurt a little bit.
He gets wobbled, then does work and breaks him, right? And then the Al Iaquinta fight.
Where he slows down a little bit. Al has success
defending takedowns.
Oh, yeah. We'll see, man.
Do you look at it and you're like, all right,
there's not like one thing that's like blaring at me that we need to work on. It's going to be just my overall game, just being a better fighter, I think. We have to make holes by just performing out there.
Yeah, I almost feel like, because you've been in such wars and you kind of have more of an overall arsenal. Like, even if he takes you down, not the end of the world. You can get back up. Yeah. You've been in there for 5 rounds, some killers. But also your striking is so much better than his when it comes to fundamentals, power, resume, knockouts. So the difference on the feet almost levels out the difference of grappling. The question is, and again, no disrespect, you're gonna get taken down. I think you're gonna get taken down. That's whatever. That doesn't end the fight.
I'm gonna create space with that.
How do you react when you get taken down, and can you get back to your feet?
Yeah, I will and can. And like I said, I don't think people know how long I've been doing jiu-jitsu, as long as I've been fighting before I've ever fought. So I've been doing jiu-jitsu 13 or 14 years. I'm a black belt. I'm gonna create space with submissions and put him in danger and make him have to respect things, and then I'll get up. It's gonna be a scrap, but I'm gonna make him make mistakes, and we'll see what happens. Yeah,
it's almost like you just gotta drag him into those later rounds, kind of how Al did, and so he starts shooting from more far out, and then when you're striking, that's where the power comes in.
Yeah, if he slows down, it's gonna go downhill for him. Yeah. But I think my overall game, I can cause threats and cause problems for him early on as well.
Yeah.
I don't need him to gas out to win this fight.
No, agreed. Yeah. But I'm sure your team's excited because you've been fighting for, how long have you been fighting? Not just in the UFC, just
since
in
I was 18. I had my first fight. I'm 30.
How old are you now?
30.
Dang, dude. How many fights you have?
As a pro, 31.
That's so many.
But you see, people don't know, my team always busts my balls for this because I always say, well, this was my 40th fight. I've only had 2 amateur fights. But I've really had 9 amateur fights, but only 2 were actually like what I would say amateur rules with puffy gloves and stuff.
Yeah.
7 other ones I had were in Arkansas and Mississippi and Louisiana where you show up to fighter meeting and you wearing 4-ounce gloves and they say, hands up if you guys want to throw elbows. Okay, tonight we're throwing elbows. Like, I fought pro fights, I just didn't get paid for it. So I have 38 fights, 2 amateur, really.
Yeah. I remember on Ultimate Fighter, like, he only has this many wins or this many fights. I'm like, well, no, but on the Ultimate Fighter, I asked these guys, I knocked those guys out, man. Like, doesn't count, only 2 rounds. Like, but I knocked them out in a round.
It felt like a fight to me.
Dude, it was a fight to me, man. Right? That's the way I got here.
Yeah. 5-minute rounds, 4-ounce gloves. I mean, that's an MMA fight.
That's where I come from, man. Yeah. You've been fighting when it wasn't cool.
At the beginning of it not being being cool, starting the crossover.
You were 18, you got out of high school?
Yeah, well, I started training before I was 18. Actually didn't finish high school.
You left to pursue fighting?
Yeah, I got into some trouble when I was younger and then left and started messing around with boxing. I was in a boxing gym before MMA. I wanted to box.
And then that went into MMA?
Yeah. Met some MMA guys at a boxing gym. It's like, oh shit, yeah,
Like,
you
this
guys
is
are
cool.
doing this? For real?
And then you just decided to start pursuing it?
Yeah.
We up?
Food is ready.
All right, my man.
Good one is hot.
Let's go.
Thank you, sir. I'll give it to the champ first.
My man.
Here's another.
Thank you, sir.
Looks
Got a surprise.
beautiful.
Got some
Oh,
homemade
some.
mac and cheese.
Oh man, not mad at
Yeah.
that.
Nice
brick.
some buffalo cheesy fries.
Food's good, right?
Man, great.
I love it. My only complaint: the fries. Thank God he gave us those. Mac and cheese, delicious. Wings, fantastic. What's this bullshit? What is this? Give us some real ranch. I like blue cheese.
Chunky style. I like it
Yeah,
chunky,
bro. What is that?
Makes it easy for white girls to keep in their purse.
Oh.
You know?
You are a genius. So, Max Holloway fight done. Khabib, and tell me, maybe I'm off on this, but if they do Khabib in Abu Dhabi, hey man, can we make it a little easier on Dustin, the guy who's been fighting for you guys how many times? One of the most winningest fighters of all time, your interim champ. Does he have to go to Dubai or wherever it is? It's so far, man.
It is.
That's not an advantage.
It's enemy territory.
It's enemy territory.
Yeah.
It makes sense, you know, obviously Khabib's a huge star and he's a huge draw out there and
He's been doing tour there too. Like.
oh, has he?
Yeah, doing all
so it
kinds of
makes a
tours.
lot of sense, but the fight goes according to you. I wish they would just do it in the States, but I keep texting Dana, I'm not hearing back. But I wish they would do it somewhere else. But if you do have to go to Dubai and go on that 19-hour plane ride, whatever it is, well, as soon as you beat him, you're gonna have to get out of there.
Fast.
Yeah, fast. I'm sure Dana can hook you up with a private jet or something. You're gonna have to get out.
I'm thinking, you know, I don't know how crazy it's going to be, but in my head, I'm thinking this might be a little dangerous. I know when Colby Covington fought in Brazil, they had extra security and they guarded his room and stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if it's similar to that, you know?
Because Colby's an ATT guy.
Yeah.
You guys just, go to enemy territory. But Colby asked for it.
Yeah, there you go. I'm not asking for it.
You're a nice guy. You're not a trash talker at all.
I try to fight, you know, if it's fuck me, it's fuck you too, but other than that.
Khabib's not going to do that with you.
No.
Eddie Alvarez, you guys had the bad blood a little bit from the previous kind of...
I had a lot of respect for that guy before that shit, man, too.
What are you saying before?
Before Eddie did that, man, he's a legend. I grew up watching the guy fight in Japan and
Underground
Dream
King.
and
I know.
freaking even Bodog, you know? I've been
Hell yeah.
watching the sport for a long time. For him to say the stuff he said after that fight really bothered me. But before that, you know, I had a lot of respect and we were cool going into that.
And there was some bad blood there, but I don't need you or Eddie Alvarez to talk shit. I don't need you and Khabib to talk shit. And I kind of feel, now that Conor's kind of been out of the picture, the whole trash talk and kind of like the WWE entertainment phase that we were going through and like called the entertainment era, it's kind of over.
I hope so, man.
Especially with ESPN now, because with the new business model and that they're going more away from superstars and the pay-per-view model, that there's no reason to act like that anymore.
You know, it's unattractive to me when it's forced and you can tell it's fake or tell the guy's like premeditated what he's gonna say in a press conference. I don't like that shit,
Awkward, man.
Yeah, if it's real, if guys really don't like each other, then it's fun to watch. But you know, some of these guys are just forcing it, and you can tell. And I don't like that shit, man.
Now, when I'm sure your team knows this, but at the gym you train at, for those that don't know, you train at an American Top Team in Florida, one of the top, arguably 3 gyms in the world of all time. I mean, AK,
Yeah.
Jackson's, and you guys kind of 3 big dogs.
Probably one of the 3 mega gyms that everybody knows about: American Top Team, Jackson's, and
Jackson's, AK,
Yeah.
and TriStar's getting up there in
Yeah.
Montreal. Not a mega gym, but they.
When George was really on his streak, it was a bit. I don't hear a whole lot about TriStar anymore.
Just for us, he's an amazing coach. You got Mark Henry. Either way, you get the point.
Yeah,
you're in a mega camp. Is there? I mean, as you fight for an interim belt, you've been doing it for so long. You guys have so many superstars come through there. And when I was training, like in Denver, for a long time, for a short amount of time, we had superstars, and as guys got bigger, everyone needs attention. Everyone needs like their undivided attention from that head coach. So everyone split ways. Like it's so hard to have a Phil Jackson type of coach to navigate all these personalities.
Yeah.
How does ATT do it? Because you guys and not only do you guys have champions and superstars, but you get some personalities in them.
Yeah, and like you're saying, it's so hard because there's, especially nowadays, maybe even more so than before, because there's so many events and so many shows. So we have huge names fighting in Japan on the same weekend as guys are fighting in the UFC, as the same weekend as Bellator and PFL and all this other stuff's going on. And you know, these coaches are already spread pretty thin. Like Mike Brown's a great buddy of mine, but this guy's on the road every weekend. You know, so I'm there in camp. He has to leave to corner this guy, leave to corner this guy. And then he comes to my fight, he has to pick who he's going to corner because there's fights that weekend too.
Oh, that's right.
So it's just crazy. But that's just, I guess, the way the sport's getting. You can only have so many coaches under one roof.
But I'm sure you get seniority because you've been there for since 2000, what?
Yeah, for sure, since 2012.
Yeah, so you've been there for so long.
Yeah. And it's kind of off of relationships too. Me and Mike have been working together. I put in a lot of time with him. He's my head coach there, really.
Did you know he was going to be that good of a coach? Because obviously he had a great career in WC.
Right. And he was still fighting when I went over. No,
phenomenal coach, man. Phenomenal.
Incredible. The best MMA mind that I've been around. Just understands.
Really?
From a fighter's perspective, obviously he's a world champion.
Yeah.
But just, yeah, some guys don't make that crossover to be incredible coaches, but he just understands. He's a great mind. He knows how to win rounds and win fights, and he's a genius, man.
Yo, really? He knows the game. And he'd have to, because so many guys at your level, and gals, Joanna, everyone talks about him like he's just this savant.
Yeah,
He's been a nice guy, but I didn't know he was that. I guess I just didn't realize how good of a coach he is till you hear the fighters talk about him.
He's incredible, man. And the thing is, for me to I've been fighting a long time, like we said, and I kind of know what needs to be done, and before coaches even tell me, shit, I know I need to work on this and that, but Mike finds a way to find other things that I didn't know I needed to work on.
That's amazing.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
That's cool, man. And I can't believe you guys haven't had, not really, I mean, every gym has its drama, but you never really hear about it.
At American Top Team?
Yeah, I mean, there's some drama, but with the guys like Masvidal, Colby, you, Joanna,
Santiago Ponzinibbio's in there.
He's a monster.
Yeah.
Robbie Lawler.
Robbie's actually at Combat Club now.
Oh, is he?
Yep, with Henry Hoof. And
son of a bitch. We'll take him off that list then.
Yeah.
He's a great dude, though.
No, really
He's
good
at ATT for
a while. Yeah. When he came back, when they Strikeforce bought and he started his UFC run, whatever run that was, his second or third run he's had in UFC, he came from, where is he from originally?
Is he he's an Iowa boy, I thought.
Iowa,
right?
yeah. Tripping. Iowa.
Hughes,
he came from Iowa, moved to Florida,
yeah.
and went on this crazy run, man. Became the world champion, defended his belt a few times.
Yeah, I feel like Robbie Lawler, there's some other guys who, you've had such a long career in the UFC. I don't think people realize the names that you've beat, and it's almost similar to, in your case, almost like a Michael Bisping thing, where obviously people know and you win way more than you lose, but I never feel like you get what the appreciation you deserve till you guys are retired. Again, that Max Holloway fight, everyone's talking about, oh, Max didn't look this. Well, no, it's not about Max.
Yeah.
It's about Dustin, how great he looked.
Yeah.
And now he's fighting Khabib. And then now everyone's, well, is Khabib ready for, it's not about Khabib. What about Dustin? What about Dustin that beat the Anthony Pettis, the Eddie Alvarez twice, the Justin Gaethje, all these, you look at your resume, it's ridiculous, man, but I find similarities with a few fighters like you and Bisping, where once it's all said and done, people go, holy shit, man. And someone goes, he's a Hall of Famer, and they're like, yeah, he's no doubt he's a Hall of Famer. Yeah.
Bisping's Robbie Lawler. Those are the guys I respect the most, man.
Because I think it didn't come easy to him.
Yeah, and they had to dig down and find, not that it's easy to go undefeated your whole career, but a guy who makes it to the top, drops it, makes it back, drops it. I find that more prestigious than being 30-0 and being the world champ.
Agree, because the route you took,
I'm a fighter. I know how hard it is.
Yes, especially, yeah, I agree. Especially once you lose a fight, whether it's TKO, submission, or just a decision loss where you kind of got your ass whooped for 3 or 5 rounds, to do that and then compete against another world-class guy after that, that's, I think, when you find out what you're made of.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's when you find out what kind of real fighter you are.
Dig down and find out who you are. You get acquainted with yourself.
Because you've had some rough goes.
Every time I was right before that, the fight that I was going to propel me to being a household name, I'd always drop those.
And that was kind of not even drop them, but that's kind of I think maybe you were maybe a slight underdog. People are like, well, when Dustin finally gets to, when he's knocking on the door, he hasn't won the fight, so maybe that's why you're underdog?
That could have been it, too. Like the moment might have been too big or something. They would have.
I guess that's the knock, or the guys you're fighting are really fucking good.
Yeah, that too.
I like when people go, oh, he doesn't. Well, no, hold on. What do you mean? The guy he's fighting so good, man. Sometimes that guy just might have beat him that night.
Yeah.
He showed up,
in
that
the world
guy's fucking
every
good.
time out. One mistake, man. One mistake.
When going through this journey, was there ever a time when you thought about stopping? Did that ever occur to you?
Ah, man, that's tough to. Yeah, probably so. Not that I can like sit here and say, after this fight, I thought about putting it up, but after every loss, it's such a big deal to me. I put so much into it. I mean, my whole life is fighting is just part of my life.
Yeah.
But everything I do is to become a better fighter. I know when I win, I benefit my family, represent myself. I just put so much of my time and energy into my whole life, I feel like, into this, that a loss is devastating to me. So, man, going back home and readjusting and just thinking everything through and reflecting, it hurts, man. Sometimes, like when I lost to Conor, climbed my way back up, went to 155, beat all these guys, and I lost to Michael Johnson, a guy who I'm like,
should have been.
If I'm losing to these guys, you know, if I'm losing to guys like this, I don't know what's going on, you know. But then stay true to the path, you know. That's what I do. I fight. I
think it's special, someone that can stay true to their path. But I also, you know, when Rose lost her last fight to Jessica Andrade, and they interviewed her right after, she goes, listen, I just want to do something else. Right. I might retire. I don't know. I don't want to do this. Everyone goes, oh, she's done. She's retired. I'm like, if you ask really any major fighter who's put so much work into it, and then they lose that fight, and you interview them right after, almost 99% of those fighters can go, I don't care, I don't want to do this.
Right.
And people go, oh, he's retired, or she's retired. It's like, no, you don't understand, man. It's the lowest of the lows, and you just want to get the F out of there. You just want to get out of there, man.
For sure. How heavy all that is to carry into a title fight, and then you go out there and lose, and somebody asks you a question like that. She hasn't even had time to really think about everything.
Yeah, it's strange, man.
Yeah, I don't think people understand how much fighters carry into the fights. You know, it's not. At the end of the day, it's just a fight, but there's so much riding on it, man.
Dude, there's especially, you know, with all the history, you've started since you're 18, and, you know, you got the freaking state of, you got Louisiana on your back, and you're finally getting the recognition you deserve, and you're fighting for a title, and you're world champion now, even though it's interim, and you beat Max Holloway, and then now this is it, man. When you decided to fight in the UFC, the exact moment you were thinking about happens in September. Maybe in Dubai. I hope it's not. Maybe it's in Dubai. Who gives a shit? You're still getting the opportunity. So everything you've ever dreamed, I don't think people realize this, everything you've ever dreamed of when you signed up for this happens in September.
Right. Dude,
I get chills talking about it.
What's crazy is, last night I was laying down and scrolling through Instagram. I saw a quote somebody posted. It said, don't you remember whenever, or everything you've been working and praying for is happening right now. This is the moment. I'm like, fuck. In a couple months, like this, I'm living the moment right now. When I was a young kid, working a part-time job, fighting, trying to make ends meet, hoping to get to this point. I'm here.
This is it, man.
Yeah, and I'm gonna honor it, bro.
How crazy
and I'm gonna make the most of it.
What else cool about it is now, when you started the dream when you're 18, you didn't have a wife, you didn't have a daughter. So now you get to this dream, this insane dream that less than 1% of all professional fighters ever get. You're there, and now your 3-year-old and your wife can watch it. Yeah. How dope is that?
Incredible.
No matter what happens, Dustin.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what happens. You've done it, man.
Right. What's beautiful, though, my wife has been there since the first fight when I was 18.
That's nuts.
Yeah, dude. She drove me to the first fight.
That's nuts, man.
Yeah, she knows.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, she knows all about the road.
Give me fucking goosebumps.
Yeah,
your wife drove you to the first fight?
To my first fight? Yeah.
She's been ride or die with you up
always,
and down.
Man. Always. Yeah.
And it's not.
Those times you asked if I ever thought about stopping, she's the one who said you can't. Like, she's the one, bro. I know it sounds corny and cheesy, but she's the one.
That's not corny.
She's like, you're gonna be a world champion, and I'm gonna tell you I told you so. And that night in Atlanta, in the hotel room, she came up to me and said, I told you so. Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Make me cry over chicken and waffles.
You know? I swear to God,
man.
Yeah.
Damn.
She believed in me at times I didn't believe, you know?
That's nuts. That's what it takes, though.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know if I would have done it without her, man.
That's insane, dude.
Yeah, crazy.
That's so fucking cool, man. And I think a lot of times, especially when you have this dream and you get there, I think anyone that lives life and don't get in the fast lane, whether it's stand-up comedy, actors, you know, fighters, basketball players, NFL players, whatever it is, you're so one-sided, you're so one-track mind that you're going to accomplish this.
Yeah, it's tunnel vision.
You don't see anything.
Yeah.
You don't see anything.
Yeah.
Like you don't realize what's going on.
It's tunnel vision.
I hope you do. I hope when you realize that it's super special what you've done and what you're gonna do. I don't care what happens in September, but what you did with Max Holloway and you finally became a world champion, it's so inspirational, man.
Thank you so much.
It's so
man.
cool, bro.
Yeah, it means a lot.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's really dope, man.
Crazy journey. I've learned a lot through the path of this, you know. I've learned a lot about life and fighting and myself.
Man, we'll wrap on this. I can't thank you enough for coming out here, brother. I've been a fan for a long time.
Thanks,
I'm glad I could feed you this chicken and waffles. Pretty good. And I'm rooting for you, brother. I'm rooting for you. I want you to win. People are like, oh, he's biased. Yep, I am. Yep, I am. And I think you can do it, man. And even though the odds are against you, that's what you do.
Hey, against all odds, I'll get it done.
That's
man.
what's happened, man.
It's my story of my life. I'm not.
Yep.
Let's go. I'm used to that.
Enjoy it, brother.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dustin Poirier.